Hey, there we go. There we go. All right. So, welcome to week 11 of the NFL football season. To all my Eagles fans and to my NFL fans out there, we are going to start in on picks, which already have started for this week because my Philadelphia Eagles went ahead and beat the Commanders 26-18 on Thursday night. Texas Tony bet against my Philadelphia Eagles for obvious reasons, but also, look, shout out to the Commanders. Look, you're playing really good football. I do not expect for the division just to be handed over to us, and you're proving to be a worthy opponent. So I understand where people are going to pick the Commanders, but Saquon Barkley is turning into being one of the best acquisitions we've had. And because of him, we have so many different weapons. When you try to shut down the pass, I think at most a wide receiver had 5 catches, and that's A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith, and had 4. I think Goddard did. You can't stop everything. And big ups to the Eagles. As much as people complain about Sirianni or Kellen Moore, we stuck with the run, and it worked out because then we wore down a team, and then in the fourth quarter, went ahead and scored 20 points. And Saquon Barkley had 2 touchdowns, 2 long touchdown runs with that. So, look, we're playing good football right now. Right now, I'm up 1 game for this week against Texas Tony. And before I get into my picks, this is a shout out to E12. Yes, you know, I'm giving you a shout out. Asked if this was a green screen, like I have like a couch in front of the link or so. No, this right here is a picture, right here, see? I like to display Philly in all of its greatness all the time, and this is just one of the pictures that I have inside of my house. I'll show you some other ones another time. Letting you know where I get it from because I enjoy supporting small business. The Art Expo in the Springfield Mall. I get all sorts of cool stuff. You'll see a couple of these pictures and videos I'm going to put onto this video. I would highly recommend going down to that place if you're a Philly fan and looking at all the beautiful pictures they have, not just of the Eagles, but of the city of Philadelphia and other things, great athletes, all sorts of pictures. I like that place, and anytime I'm looking to get a large picture that I can put on my wall somewhere, I go to that place, the Art Expo in Springfield. I am not getting paid for that. I just enjoy supporting small business in the local Philadelphia region, and Delco is definitely part of the Philadelphia region. That being said, let's get into picks. Let's talk a little trash, and let's get through this. All right, Philly, Washington, I picked my Birds. Yes, like I do every week anyway. I'm never going to pick against them anyway, but it works out. But my team is 8-2. So I've at least won 8 weeks in a row picking my Birds. Let's go on to the Las Vegas Raiders versus Miami. I'm actually picking Miami for this one. Miami is the reason why last week we ended up tying because I picked the Rams over Miami and Miami beat them. So I think Miami's going to keep on rolling and going to beat the Raiders. New Orleans, Cleveland. Now this is what? Jameis Winston's coming back to New Orleans, but he's going to prove why they got rid of him. So New Orleans is going to win that. They just beat Atlanta. And so I think New Orleans is going to start getting a little bit of a roll. That division is close and not that good. I think, Atlanta is 6-4, and New Orleans is 4-6. Later on, you'll see I'm going to pick, I think, against Atlanta. So that division is going to get real, real close. And whoever's almost 500 or just a little bit better is going to win that division. So New Orleans is going to beat Cleveland today. All right, to my homies. To my homies up in upstate New York that root for the Colts. That's a thing. I love these people. They're cool people, but they root for the Colts. It's like, it blew my mind. But Big D, this is a shout out to you. I'm gonna pick Indy over the Jets today. I know you said they're a dumpster for their dumpster fire right now, but I think the Jets are worse. So I'm gonna pick. This is Big D and Missy. I'm picking the Colts over the Jets today. Next, Minnesota, Tennessee. Minnesota. Green Bay, Chicago. Picking Green Bay. Jacksonville, Detroit. I don't think anybody's going to pick Jacksonville. I want Jacksonville to win so bad, but I cannot pick them. Part of it is I have to play a little defense because I'm already up one game, so I have to kind of balance out my upsets that I'm going to pick because I need to beat Texas Tony. I need to get to 4-6-1. Right now I'm 3-6-1. I want to get to that place where I'm winning. So Texas Tony has to come here in Philadelphia next year. So I am going to pick Detroit. But man, please, Jacksonville, please win this game. Because this will get my Birds closer to home field advantage. Detroit has a harder than us next half of the season. So I want Jacksonville to win so bad. But I'm picking Detroit on that. The Los Angeles Rams versus New England. In my heart, man, I want to pick New England so bad on this one. But like I said, I have to be a little defensive. I don't know what Texas Tony is picking, but I'm going to pick the Rams, especially since I have my conspiracy theory about LA and the Dodgers and how sports world wants to get out as much money as they can from the LA area when normally they can't. So I think this is where that division gets closer as well, and the Rams start looking like they can contend for the division. Because that's the only way one of those teams is going to get in the playoffs, because the rest of the NFC is far ahead of what the NFC West is right now. Baltimore versus Pittsburgh. Now, no hate in the state. I actually like Pittsburgh. I think it's weird sometimes when Pittsburgh fans talk trash on the Eagles fans. We're all in the same state and the opposite sides of the state and opposite conferences. I would normally just root for Pittsburgh, and I'm not going to say I'm not going to. The only time I'm not going to root for Pittsburgh is when they play us on December 15th. But I do believe Baltimore is going to win this game, and I do believe this is going to be the more popular pick. They just had a shootout against Cincinnati, and I just feel like Baltimore. There's only a few teams I think can contend with Kansas City. I do think Pittsburgh can, to be honest with you. I think Pittsburgh, Baltimore, and Buffalo can, but I see Baltimore coming through on this one and eventually winning the division, even though it's, man, sometimes they just throw up a stinker. Like they threw up a stinker against Cleveland. Who explained that outside of betting? Anyway, Seattle versus San Fran. I think this is where San Fran just starts turning it on. They have their pieces back, and I think San Fran just starts to pull away in the NFC West. To my buddy Jermaine, San Fran, wear your stuff like you always do. You've been repping them ever since I've ever met you. So San Fran gets the win today. Sorry, Eric. Atlanta versus Denver. I talked about the NFC South. Man, I think they're turning into such a dumpster fire of a division, even though my Birds have lost 2 games to that division. We beat New Orleans when they were hot, but then we lost to Atlanta. Rightly so, they came back and won like they need to, and we lost to Tampa Bay. But then, for whatever reason, now they're falling off, and everybody's figuring them out. I'm actually picking Denver in this one. Denver's like weird, kind of okay team, and they almost beat Kansas City last week, which is a thing. But once again, I think that's a betting thing. And if you look at, I'm going to go into this on the next one because, okay, so I picked Denver on that one. KC versus Buffalo. Between just talking about Denver and talking about KC right now, man, like my conspiracy theory radar is just pegged high, because if you even look at the left side offensive line when the Denver Broncos were kicking that field goal, the guy just like laid down. That is just, this is something fishy about this whole league. I feel like it's just fixed. It just, it just makes me, it's just not as desirable to watch. But I'm picking Buffalo today. I want Buffalo to win. I am not a KC fan. I do like the Kelce's. Sometimes it feels like it's a little bit too much. I don't care about all that other stuff that goes along with it. I do think Kansas City needs to lose. Buffalo doesn't have as many, has a lot more losses than KC because KC's undefeated. So I don't think Buffalo's going to catch them for the #1 seed in the AFC, but I think the NFL needs this for the script. So I'm going to go with Buffalo beating Kansas City because it's in Buffalo, and then that'll give Buffalo fans hope. AFC Championship game, saying we beat them once, we're going to beat them again, but it's going to be in KC, And then KC is going to come over with a win if they're playing Buffalo. Otherwise, they're going to be playing Baltimore, and you know how that's going to go. I'm picking Buffalo today. Cincinnati at the Chargers. The Chargers are weird. They actually have a good record. Cincinnati is one of the best crappy teams in the NFL. They have a bad record, bad breaks on all sorts of stuff. They had a shootout against Baltimore. The record, I want to say, what are they, 4-5 or something? They don't have a great record, but it could be better. I think this is where they start catching fire a little bit, and they might be the team that nobody wants to play in the AFC playoffs. It's almost like the Mets for the National League in the baseball playoffs. I think Cincinnati might be that team. And last but not least, yes, I'm going to end it up on this, and plenty of trash talk that comes along with this, the Texans versus Dallas. I love this for so many reasons. Okay, because one way or another, I'm going to win. And I'll tell you why. I'm obviously picking the Texans because the Dallas Cowboys are a dumpster fire this year. And it feels so awesome because every year, excuse me, every year is their year. Every year they have this, that, and the other thing. Look, they have some talented people. I am not going to say Dak Prescott is not talented. He is. CeeDee Lamb is talented. Mike Parsons is talented. You have some really good pieces on this team. What I love about the Dallas Cowboys is they are managed horribly. Jerry Jones, I hope you hear this from a diehard Eagles fan. I hope that you live to be as long as possible and stay the GM, owner, all that stuff like that of the Dallas Cowboys. You make the worst decisions, and it helps keep your team from greatness. I get to say it for people because I can't say this, but I'm going to say it. Jimmy Johnson was like the best thing that ever happened to you. And because of your ego, you couldn't let that continue. So you let Barry Switzer come in and win a Super Bowl based on what Jimmy Johnson did. The guy's a horrible coach. Jimmy Johnson is great. And so you won another Super Bowl just based off the fumes of what Jimmy Johnson did. And then ever since then, you've never won anything for a reason. You are not good at football operations. Not. And that's fine. I'm okay with that. Because it keeps you guys from winning playoff games. Winning NFC Championship. Showing up to NFC Championship games, let alone winning them. And going to the Super Bowl. So, this is the reason why I'm going to win either way. Texas Tony, this is for you. So, either I pick Texans and Tony picks Dallas, and the Texans blow out Dallas because the Texans should have beat the Lions. But either I win there because Texas Tony most of the time picks Dallas, or I pick the Texans. Texas Tony picks the Texans, and he shows that he has lost complete faith in his team, the Dallas Cowboys. And I sit and I talk about it because I think that is fantastic. So once again, either way, I win this game. Texas Tony's going to feel a little bit better, in my opinion. I don't know what he's picked yet, but in my opinion, he's going to pick the Texans because he doesn't feel like he is cheating on his state. But man, if you pick the Texans, man, I'm going to come to... I might even make a separate video just for you because I just can't wait until you lose complete faith and confidence in your team. Man, it feels great to be an Eagles fan right now. Yeah, it's going to come crashing down if we don't win the whole thing. I get it, but whatever. I'm going to let this ride while I can. So those are my picks that I talked about, Art Expo and Delco. Feel free to look them out. I'm 3-6-1. I'm looking to go 4-6-1 and win out this week. Go Birds. We're 8-2. We're looking for the #1 seed. We're looking to... let's do this. I'm just getting stupid hype. JD, this is for you too. Go Birds. E-A-G-L-E-S Eagles. And like, good football day. I don't have to worry about anything. We already have a win for the week. And we get to rest up before we go out to LA and play the Rams. Go Birds. Go Birds. Go Birds. Have a great week. See you, Texas Tony.